Who do you think's more fertile? Me or my wife? Or my wife or I? Me and I? Me, my... This is Chris Padgett with a Happy Place Homestead. Hope you're having a great day. It's gorgeous here in central New York. We're loving it. Actually, this is perfect weather to get ready for gardening. We got a ways to go, actually. So for almost as long as I've known Linda, she's been infatuated and super interested in all things health. Really early on in our marriage, we began to go to certain conferences so we could find out about natural foods. She explored different ways and avenues to get healthy so we didn't have to use medication. It's been a passion of hers. Inevitably, it was something that I became excited about as well. And partly learning about how food works in our bodies and makes us healthy beings, regenerates cells, and basically you are what you eat is far more true than we ever imagined. I think what we've ultimately decided is we'd rather spend money on things like natural, organic, healthy foods, medicines, rather than spending money later on tons of medical bills. Now, I think you probably know this, but I'm certainly not opposed to medicine. I've been the recipient of great medicine. Thankful for doctors and nurses. Our daughter's a nurse. So if you follow our channel, it's possible that you are already well aware of what we've experienced. The last few years have been pretty intense because I had my second open heart surgery. Was certainly not on our to-do list. And I had actually been doing pretty well health-wise, but this valve, an aortic valve replacement that I'd had previously, it just exploded. So it really had nothing to do with eating necessarily. It just was dying, if you will. Thank God for good medical teams out there and good medicines at that. But because, especially even more so because of my health history, to be on a journey towards a healthier lifestyle is something that I really need to do. And I've made a lot of jokes about my weight and a lot of jokes about foods.
Here's the problem with suspenders. They highlight this portion right here. It's framing it. I can't get away. It looks like I'm in my second trimester. Look it, you can see the baby kick. It's okay, little Sam Adams. I got you.
This is something that is pretty important to me, and the older I get, I'm going to have to work extra hard because I have some lifestyles, habits that need to be modified. Thankfully, Linda's very organized and she's very disciplined, and I think together this is going to be a great year. And ultimately, the construction of not only the enhancement of this garden right behind me, but the construction of the big garden that we're going to show you, it's all part of our overview of health and our worldview of health. And so we've done a lot of studying and a lot of preparing, and I hope that you join us on this journey, because my goal is that Linda and I will have a garden off to see which one of us is more fertile. Now, technically speaking, I of course think I am, and then of course she thinks she is. But we're going to let you and the fertility that you witness be the judge. That sounds super awkward after I said that. So, here's the deal. My wife loves gardens. I actually think that she might love gardens more than me. I know she likes Monty Don. He's the great gardener. She's infatuated with Monty Don. The point is that because of her love for Monty Don, because of this beautiful weather, because of our intense fertility, we are excited about gardening. So for the last few years, Linda has used a small garden that she built with her own hands. It's been fantastic for us. She's going to talk to you a little bit about the garden.
So I want to talk to you about this little garden that we have here. This is our kitchen garden, and I built this the year after we moved here, so in 2016, and I'll put a link for that video down below in the description. I was super proud of this garden because in building it, it was probably the biggest thing I had built since I've moved here, and I had done quite a bit of construction, so I was really proud about that. But also, it was my first real garden. I have loved gardening since I was a little girl, and so I don't know, having the opportunity to have my own little spot of dirt that really I can dig into and grow things was very exciting. But through the years with different things, like in the following year after I built it, 2017 was the year that Chris had his heart surgery, the garden was non-existent. And because of that, eventually weeds started taking over, and really what I found out was that I made a major screw up. When I built this garden, I did not put any type of weed protection, weed guard under the soil inside the raised beds. And so what happened? I thought I was fighting weeds all these years, but this year I finally realized I'm not fighting weeds, I'm fighting back a yard. It was our yard had grown through the dirt and into the garden, and nothing was growing. I planted lettuce in it earlier this year. I think I had a video for that. That lettuce did nothing. Nothing really grew. I think I got like a couple leaves of lettuce out of that, all of that planting, because it was competing too much for nutrients and water and everything with all the grass that was there, basically. And so so that was my big no-no, my big boo-boo, was that I didn't put weed protection in there. So what I realized this year, after, I thought I was on top of it this year with testing my soil and getting my seeds in early and adding nutrients and all these things, but then, like I said, yard came through and nothing grew. And so what I realized was I need to actually take the dirt out of this and start over. Since we were going to build another garden, a bigger garden, I figured we're going to need to have a truckload of dirt brought in anyway. We'll bring enough in to fill this small garden again as well.
All right, so we're gonna remove the old nasty garden soil, which is actually, the soil's not bad. We're just gonna take that out, put that in the chicken coop as mentioned. These are potato plants. They're gonna go up on the porch over here. So we got this cleaned out.
It took many, many trips for us to get this dirt out. And then what I'll do next, the next step for this, is to put down weed control. I've learned this. I've come to love this stuff, this little plastic. It's not plastic. It's water can permeate through it, but weeds cannot come up. And so it has like a really long, like a 15-year warranty on it. That's what I want. I don't want any more yard growing through my garden. And so that's my next step, is to put that weed control in, and then we'll refill it with the dirt when we get the dirt for the new garden. In my love for weed control, those plastic rolls of weed control, I decided to redo our little statue area here. And so I have been trying to grow daisies and stuff in there for years, but nothing would grow because it was so hard and rocky. So I took everything out. I dug everything out, put them somewhere else in the yard, and they're actually growing beautifully this year. And we put the weed down, the weed control down, and then all these rocks. And so it looks clean. I just wanted clean. I don't want weeds and overgrowth and craziness. And so this year I will be thinning out some of my lilies and putting them around there too. So that will be really pretty. The other thing that I had done this summer was I fixed the walkways inside the garden. So that was a lot of heavy work for me. I did most of the lifting myself. I'll tell you, this stupid little broken wagon, sides are missing on it. This little wagon has proven to be so helpful for me to drag things along. This is heavy work. What's the plan for this new garden? I'm gonna make it a flower garden. I've always wanted a flower garden, but I always felt like it was a waste of energy, a waste of time, a waste of money to put a lot of effort into growing flowers. But I want flowers. I want a flower garden. But then I realized, oh my gosh, a lot of the herbal flowers, the herbal medicine that we can use to make ourselves healthy are flowers, and they look really, really pretty. Echinacea, chamomile, they're lavender. These are beautiful flowers. And so this little kitchen garden will become my herbal flower garden. And I will plant that next year in the spring and hopefully get things to grow.
Okay, so now we're building a new garden. Bigger, better. Texas-sized garden, if you will. Although we're in New York. The point is, I like to think it was my idea. But when we talked about having a new garden, my wife decided, let's put it in the lawn. I'm like, no. It took 5 years for me to get the lawn to be the lawn. And I don't mind having cows poop on the lawn. It's only gonna make the lawn better. But to add a garden and just basically ruin all of my opportunities to mow, I don't think so. So I suggested, you know, we cleared all this property over here so we could have cows graze on it. What if we made a section of it the garden? She was like, oh, what a horrible idea. And then she thought about it, and then she realized, wait a minute, my husband is so brilliant. He's so amazing. I love listening to his ideas. I think he's right. Anyway, so Linda did spend a lot of time then constructing and crafting this elaborate plan. I'm pretty sure that hobbits will move in soon. It is going to be the perfect garden. And as I looked at it and the amount of hours and time she spent, all I could think of was, I'm not going to be able to afford this garden. So we decided to be a little bit creative, and what you see now is the perimeter. The other day we were able to go out, we took the tractor, the Ford 8N, and we attached the auger that we had picked up from Tractor Supply, and it worked. It worked okay. And here's the problem, is that when I go to dig the holes with the auger, unfortunately the PTO, the shaft, comes off. It's not working right, and so it's a lot of struggle to get the holes exactly where we want them when the entire machine falls apart every time I try to use it. So then we thought, well, let's use the brand new, well, it's not brand new, but let's use the New Holland that has a better PTO hitch attachment. It'll be perfect. And it was, except I couldn't raise the back hydraulic up high enough to get the auger off the ground fully. So whenever I went to move, it's digging a trail in the sand. So then we put it back on the Ford 8N. And that's how we kind of constructed the perimeter. The 4x4s, they're in place. And then what's gonna happen is we're gonna take the sawmill that we had purchased and we're going to cut the slabs for the side. And it's gonna actually look beautiful. And I know it's gonna look beautiful because every time Linda puts her mind and her heart into something, it becomes something beautiful. Not just utilitarian, but something beautiful. And I've caught the vision, and I'm excited about this because I think not only are we going to grow even more incredible, awesome vegetables that are going to help us on our health journey, but we're also going to be able to come out and just walk in a place that is very beautiful. But, and this is the thing, but see, I can't just let it be. I have to do things a little bit also my way. So Linda's gonna do the raised bed pretty garden, and I'm gonna do the ultimate fertility garden. Like this, you're gonna walk back there and it's just gonna be like an explosion of growth. It's gonna be like, oh my gosh, Chris is so fertile. And what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna take behind the area that Linda's been putting her stuff together, and I don't need charts and graphs necessarily. It's not gonna cost a lot of money. I'm gonna take that Ford 8N, I'm gonna dig some holes in the ground, I'm gonna plant seeds the way that every farmer has done for thousands and thousands of years. It's gonna be, oh, I don't need a raised bed with a whole bunch of dirt when the Lord God put dirt right there. Now, are there 8,000 rocks where the dirt is? Yes. So I'm gonna have to dig out all of those rocks. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna see an amazing fertile garden with a rock tower because of the amount of rocks that I have also dug up. Anyway, the point is, By the time fall happens next year, you're gonna see the most amazing gardens in a battle, a fertility off, a garden war unlike anything that's ever happened. And what's going to be awesome is that we're going to then enjoy the winter with a whole bunch of incredible foods.
I want to show you my garden, so come with me. This will be the main gate. All right, so the gate will go here, and this is going to be like a pergola type of thing. We'll have, I want to put climbing roses on here and an arch type of thing, okay? So this hopefully will get done by the end of the year. But here's the main gate. Come on. This will be a walkway. I already have pavers. Look at this rock. See the rocks? Just take a look at that. Yeah, that's why we're doing raised beds. So this will be the walkway with these pavers that someone gave us free. Another gate. This gate will go over to that pile of yuck over there, all those weeds and all the rocks is where I'm putting my potting shed. I cannot wait to build this potting shed. I'm so excited. Monty Don has a really cool potting shed, and I can't wait to put a potting shed there.
I don't know why she keeps talking about a potty shed, but we don't need that.
I'll be able to walk out of the potting shed with my little seedlings, come through the gate here, and over to here. Because right in this area is going to be the greenhouse. Originally, I wanted to put the greenhouse on a deck. Because I was thinking that it's going to be really hard to build a foundation on all of this and level it and all of that. And so I thought I'll put a deck in. When I priced the deck to put on the greenhouse, just the deck alone was going to cost $1,000. And I thought, I can't do that. I can't spend $1,000 on a deck, where it would cost me maybe $150 to put pavers down on the ground. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put pavers down, and then next year I'll build the greenhouse on top of it. And then the rest of this, these are our boards for the raised beds. We got them. They are hemlock, because around here it's hard to get local cedar, and it's hard to get even locusts. The source that we had didn't have either one of those. He had hemlock. Hopefully we'll still be able to get some hemlock or some locusts and cedar at some point. But hemlock will work okay. You can give him tips on marriage?
Whenever she says something like, let's just go look at a couple things, just know you're going to spend money.
And that's enough boards to do 3 beds, and they'll be 20 inches high. Not back-breaking like some old man who's going to be sitting there going, oh, trying to dig in the ground with all these rocks. Yeah, I'm going to be like sitting down on the bed and just leaning over and picking at all my plants. A lot less back-breaking. And then the rest of this garden will eventually be filled with either raised beds, or we will put a few things in the ground, or having low beds, so for like things like corn or whatever. That's my garden. Can you see it? It's going to be white 1x6 slatted fencing, just like the house. See how the house has that? So we're going to have that around here. It's going to be beautiful. And I think it's going to be way more fertile than Chris's. Thankfully, I think at this point in life, he's more fertile than I am. I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that. I have 9 kids. I'm okay with fertility diminishing in my life. But in the garden, I'm going to win, I think, because he's going to be in bed complaining about a sore back.
So obviously this is a big project, and it's not going to happen overnight. We just want to invite you to be a part of our journey on it. Throughout the whole time we'll be filming and putting together some stuff that I think you're going to really like. And so if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel and to our videos. It would mean a lot. Even if you could share it with a couple people, family, friends, we'd like to get the word out. Ultimately, we want to just encourage you to find the things in your life that you want to pursue, that you're dreaming about. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. We sure have, but we love the journey. Like, that's what's so cool. We love the journey. You know, at the end of the day, This kind of stuff is not just kind of neat to put together for a video and to share parts of our life, but we're doing this because, well, we're in kind of precarious and crazy times, and I think this is going to be just what the doctor ordered. Anyway, have a great time, and we'll see you next time.